Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and to today's video. In this video, I wanted to talk about the cost of living here in Thailand, more specifically related to an email I received from a guy called Stuart asking me if I think that he's got enough money to live in Chiang Mai or Thailand as a whole. Now, Stuart did give me permission to go through his email in this video, so thanks to Stuart for that. And of course, as always, love to get your guys' opinions, your guys' takes on whether you think this is a decent budget or whether you think less could be due as well or more is going to be necessary. But yeah, sorry I haven't had time to answer any comments recently. I've been extremely busy, so just getting the videos out is taking the time, but I will get back to comments hopefully tomorrow morning. That's the goal, but yeah, we'll see. But what I'll do, I'm going to put this email up on screen. I'll do a screenshot so you can see what it says, and let's read it out first. But anyway, cheers guys. Hi John, I have been watching your channel for a long time now and really enjoy your take on Thailand, and I've watched some of your budget videos as well as videos from other channels, and I am wondering if you think I have enough money to be able to live in Thailand myself. I am single, 56 years old, and have an income of around $2,000 per month, but have very little savings. Do you think this is enough for me to live in Chiang Mai? Best, Stuart. Now, very short, very to the point, and yeah, really appreciate you reaching out, Stuart. And the first and most obvious thing to say straight off the bat is, yes, $2,000 is enough to live in Thailand. But then that opens up the caveats of exactly what are you hoping to do? What do you want to achieve in Thailand? Do you want to live here permanently, or do you want to just live here for a short amount of time? So I think that's certain things that you need to go over. But you know, I did a video similar to this a while ago when one of you guys saying that you live on $400 a month. It is possible to live on that amount. It's possible to live on, you know, a very little amount of money in Thailand if you want to. But you have to bear in mind that certain things cost certain amounts of money. Now, while you can exist on a small amount of money, actually, if you want to do that on a month by month basis, that's something that you need to decide. But $2,000 off the bat is not a small amount of money in Thailand. That's going to give you a good time, in my opinion. Let's say it's just under 70,000 baht per month. That is more than enough to live a very, very good life in Thailand, especially in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is more affordable than Bangkok. Places like Hua Hin, I'd say even more than Pattaya, and definitely Phuket and other down south locations. So in terms of a monthly figure, $2,000 is fantastic. I would be happy with that as a single person any day of the week. You can basically do much of what you want. So that's what I would say straight off the bat. Now, one thing to bear in mind is this income of yours, $2,000 a month, is this passive income? Is this something that you're going to have forever? And if so, then that's very different than you have an income that you're working from a job that's $2,000 a month. You'll be able to do that job remotely, but perhaps in 5-10 years time you're no longer going to be working. Then that's a different kettle of fish whatsoever. So you didn't say, Stuart, if this amount of money is passive forever or you're working to earn that now. But let's assume it's passive. I would say to you, yes, this is enough money to live a reasonable time in Thailand. It definitely is. But things that are what I would class as being completely, what's the right word to say? I wouldn't go without. That's not the exact correct word, but it'll do. I wouldn't go without any form of insurance in Thailand. Now, depending on your age, this goes up dramatically, of course, the older you get. I think I last renewed my insurance, it was about 19,000 per year for inpatient only with AXA. But I'm 36. I think if you're 56, Stuart, it's going to cost you a bit more. But don't skimp on insurance. Get something so that, you know, anything happens, you're going to be taken care of. That's something that is extremely important. But let's say you budgeted, let's say $100 a month for your insurance. That's $1,200 a year. I think that could be doable at that age. And then everything left is rent, and after that it's just having a good time, isn't it? There's nothing really much else to pay for. Do you want a car? Do you want a motorcycle? Other things to bear in mind. But when you say you have very little savings, and I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean nothing? Does that mean $1,000, $10,000? Little is relative depending on the person, isn't it? But going back to the 2000, if you're working remotely at the moment, or if you're working a job that you can work from anywhere without any savings at 56, I would then start to think differently, because if you need to work in order to get this income, what will you be doing in 10 years' time? Will that still be possible? And how are you going to retire if that is the case? So that's something that I would definitely bear in mind. But I think that the people that say you need a lot of money are people who perhaps haven't spent a lot of time in Thailand. I've always said that $2,000 a month is a great ballpark, even for a family. Even for a family in Thailand, it's a fantastic amount of money. But there are people who say you need 100,000 a month before you, if you want to even live a reasonable time. Some people say you need even more. So it depends on the type of lifestyle that you want, the type of things you want to do. It's completely dependent on that. And another thing to bear in mind is, do you want a car? Do you want a motorcycle? If your savings are little, do you have enough to purchase a car? Do you have enough to buy a bike? And for me, as somebody who ever since we got our first car, living in Chiang Mai, I find it difficult without a car. I wouldn't want to go without now. Perhaps before you started, if you never got one, you'd make sure to live in areas where you didn't need a car. So that's one thing I would say. If you want a car, if you make sure you definitely want it, because once you've got one, you won't want to go without. That's what I've found. In terms of a bike, that is a bit different, but I would say something along those lines. But of course, you can get very cheap bikes here if you want. Now, any of you guys watching, in terms of budget, I know some of you make or spend 20,000 a month all in. Some of you spend 200,000 a month all in, and it's really dependent. And I think that's what it comes down to, is what do you actually want to do? What do you want to be able to achieve? What do you want to exist on a daily basis? Are you happy eating street food every single meal of the day? Or do you want something a bit more substantial occasionally? If that's the case, then your budget can go up exponentially. And I think a bare minimum, if you want to experience Thailand, if you want to live here as a local, your favourite thing to do is walking around with free, like maybe browsing the internet, spending a lot of time doing things like that. $500 is livable. But you're not going to be able to go for a steak, or even a McDonald's on $500 a month could be a bit of over budget for a day. So that's what sort of the levels we're talking about here. It's not just, well, you can live on that and you can do everything you want to do. Like on $500 a month, McDonald's is a big treat, and I think lots of people don't sort of understand what limitations you have on such a low budget, and that is very important. But moving up to the 2,000, say 70,000, just under 70,000 baht a month, you can rent somewhere decent for 10,000 plus your electric, water, internet and insurance. You're going to be having 1,500 baht a day clear to spend, which is, in my opinion, more than enough to be able to live a fantastic life, do things you want to do, perhaps go on holiday every now and then, and do all kinds of amazing things. So to answer the question, Stuart, yes, I think 2,000 a month is enough to live here. But my only caveat would be, how are you earning that? If it's passive, go for it. But if it's sort of income that you need to earn, what are you going to do at retirement age if you don't have any savings to cover that? That is one thing. But to go further than this, I would also like to get any of you guys take. What do you think? Regardless of what your own budget is, what do you think is the sweet spot for someone to live in Thailand and have a fantastic time? Anyone who wants to comment down below, let me know, and then anyone can sort of glean information from different people and see that while one person might think this amount, another person might think something else, and there's also everything in between as well. And but as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to budget, how much do I spend? Now at the moment it's slightly difficult to go over my actual budget with everything that's going on at the moment. We're having to spend extra to rent a car because our car was written off with the floods. So hopefully within the next month we'll have our own car, a new car sorted out, fingers crossed. So we're spending extra for that. We're spending extra for all the renovations we needed for the house and other bits and pieces like that. So it's difficult for me to go over an accurate budget. I'm planning to do my own budget video coming up sort of in the new year, ready for 2025, how much I spend on a month, and obviously documenting absolutely everything. But one thing that I have noticed over the past year, 2 years, 3 years in Thailand, things have gone up in price considerably. Where something before was 200 baht for a decent meal at a decent restaurant, now it might be 350. 200 to maybe now it's 250. And you notice personally the increase in prices at a place like Duke's in Chiang Mai or at some of the other fancier restaurants. You notice the price going up there a lot more than you notice the price of street food going up. If the street food goes from 40 baht to 60 baht, in essence that's not much more, and you're not going to feel the difference at all. In fact, 40 to 60, oh never mind, it doesn't feel it. But 200 to 300, hang on, that's starting to think, after you go for the entire family, instead of spending 650 for a decent meal for the family, you're spending 1100 baht. Don't think that Thailand is the cheap place that it used to be. And that's a definite important point that I would get my point across multiple times. Thailand is not the cheap place it was. It used to be a lot cheaper, but obviously the West is far more expensive than Thailand even now. As someone who's not been back since 2015, I wouldn't even know what to consider. I wouldn't even know where to begin on what the prices are like there now. So I find that I'm still comparing prices to how they used to be in the West. And then based on what prices used to be in the West 10 years ago, Thailand feels about the same as the West 10 years ago. Whereas the original Thailand felt so much cheaper. So I think that's a good point to get across. But yeah, anyway, any guys want to drop any email, anyone wants to send any emails in saying or asking questions related to Thailand, any interesting stories, any funny stories, the funnier the better, I would say. Like if your wife's left you or something, we can get a good title out of that. But yeah, I like to do these occasionally, hoping to do more soon. And yeah, really appreciate you watching, guys, and as always, thanks to you for sending the email in. I think you're going to be fine on that. Just make sure that's passive income and you'll be good. And yeah, the rest of you, cheers for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, guys.